Hi everyone, it's Danielle again. For those of you that haven't watched my first two videos, I am a behavior analyst. I work for Easter Seals of Southeastern Pennsylvania, and I have been putting together some family support videos over this time of unfamiliarity when our kiddos are at home and us parents are put into some dual roles. A lot of what I do at Easter Seals is focused on positive behavior interventions and supports. That's PBIS. So that is what my approach is in these videos. It's a positive approach to behavioral interventions and supports. So today we're going to talk a little bit about challenging behaviors at home. To be honest, this is my second time filming this. I filmed this similar topic last week, and I didn't get a chance to post it because my daughter woke up. Just so you guys know, if you haven't watched my other videos, I also have two kids. I have a 7-month-old and I have a 5-year-old who I am essentially homeschooling now, or helping him with his virtual schooling. So my daughter woke up before I could post the videos, and ever since then I was kind of rethinking the video because it was long and there was a lot of information. So today's video, I'm going to try to keep it shorter and focus on a couple main areas, okay? So I'm going to focus on safety, calm responses, and de-escalation. So safety. This is a really scary and unfamiliar time for us adults and for the kids alike, okay? So first and foremost, we have to help our kids to feel safe with us, to feel safe at home. Their safety should be priority number one. If you haven't watched my first two videos, I'm going to urge you to stop and do that now. The first video that I filmed is on the 5-to-1 ratio, and it's how to inundate your kids with positive interactions throughout the day. It is to help build their self-esteem, their self-confidence, and to really help your relationship with them. So I urge you to go back and watch that if you haven't yet. My second video was on setting expectations. While we are loving on our kids, okay, using the 5-to-1 ratio, giving them as much positive input and attention as we can, we also should be setting some expectation, okay? That's going to be different depending on the ages of your children, your parenting philosophy, etc. Regardless of what they are doing, you need to find a way to express to them what your expectation is. So that's all video 2. So if you haven't watched videos 1 and 2, I suggest go back and watching those, because for our kids to feel safe, they need to feel loved and they need to understand boundaries, okay? So go back and watch those videos if you haven't watched them already. But what I'm going to talk to you today about is once challenging behaviors occur, right? We need to be flexible. Okay, so we're setting expectations. Okay, so where we ended video 2. But within that, we need to be flexible in our expectations. Some things we can let go. Yes, we can let go. It's hard, but we can. And some things we can't, right? There are going to be some things that you're going to say, I am not budging on this. This is like my rock I'm going to stand on, right? And that's okay. So let it go sometimes, okay? Be flexible. But if your child is not meeting your expectations, I'm going to give you a few strategies of where to start, okay? Don't automatically call them out for what they're doing wrong, okay? We don't want to focus on the negative. It's one of the first training areas that we work on in PBIS, okay? We're not going to call them out and say, stop jumping on the couch. My son does that a lot. And listen, I am not perfect. I have my faults. Do I say stop jumping on the couch sometimes? Yes, I do. But we want to try to not put our attention on the negative or challenging behavior, right? So I do try to use positive language and say, our bottoms go on the couch, not our feet, okay? Or sit your bottom on the couch, or put your feet on the floor, right? So don't automatically call them out for what they're doing wrong. Try to restate your expectation calmly and clearly. We're going to talk about that calm part a little bit later too, okay? And try not to nag, okay? There's a difference between stating an expectation or even repeating an expectation and nagging. Nagging is when you say the same thing repeatedly in a short period of time. So if my son was jumping on the couch, I'd say, stop jumping on the couch. Joseph, I said, get off the couch. Stop jumping on the couch, right? I am escalating. I'm probably getting louder. My voice, my tone is changing, and I'm saying it in short periods of time. That's a nag. We want to try to avoid doing that, okay? We also then want to reinforce peers, or in this case, siblings, right? There's siblings at home, or even other adults for the expected behavior. So I'm going to switch my example a little bit. One expected behavior in our household is that my son clears his plate after dinner, right? So he brings us to the trash can, dumps his trash, and then he puts it in the sink. So if he's not doing that, right, I'm going to repeat that expectation. Joseph, remember, after dinner, we got to clear our plates. Now, his sibling is much younger, so she's not clearing any plates yet, but my husband might. So I might say, oh, I love how Daddy is clearing his plate. Thank you, Cooper, for clearing your plate. That's my husband's name, Cooper. Okay, so reinforce someone else. Let them see that your energy is going to who is doing the right thing, okay? Then, if they're still not meeting your expectations, we want to increase our proximity, which might mean getting closer to them, right? So if I'm giving Joey, my son, these directions from across the room, now I'm going to go over to him, okay? And maybe I'm going to model or gesture for him to pick up his plate. I'm going to go over, stand close to him, and point. Not going to say anything. I'm just going to get close, and I'm going to point, okay? Now, at any point, including this one, if the child starts to resist or escalate, you're going to back off, okay? Just back off, okay? We don't want to escalate our kids' behaviors, okay? We want to try our best not to, okay? If that doesn't work, maybe we need to modify or change our expectations. Now, this is hard for me as a behavior analyst and a mom to change, switch, modify my own expectation. But you need to, okay? Again, be flexible. So maybe I can say, all right, Joey, Mommy will walk with you to the trash can. I will help you dump some of your trash, and then you can put it in the sink by yourself, okay? I'm going to modify my expectation. I'm going to provide some assistance, okay? That's okay, right? You're still getting some compliance, right? Which is the ultimate goal, right? Along those same lines, another strategy within that one is with providing assistance is asking how you can help. I use this with my son all the time. How can I help you right now? What do you need? Asking those open-ended questions. If your child has the language to be able to do that, ask them, how can I help you? Okay? Remember, once they comply, reinforce them. Oh, Joey, thank you, buddy. Thanks for cleaning up your plate. Mommy really appreciates it, bud. Give them a pat on the back, right? We're still filling their buckets, right? Even if they start pushing our buttons and not complying, once they start complying, we're going to jump right back into our positive reinforcement, okay? So, second part, calm responses. I also need to work on this, okay? I saw a quote recently that really stuck with me that said, an escalated adult cannot de-escalate an escalated child. And that really stuck with me, right? If I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm escalated, I cannot help my child to de-escalate. I need to model and show him the behaviors that I want him to display, right? So I need to identify my own triggers and my own signals in my body, which I have. I know my voice starts to get loud, my heart starts pumping, right? I know the signs that my fight or flight might be kicking in, okay? So I know how to de-escalate myself. I'll walk away. I'll take a deep breath. Maybe I'll switch with my husband. Very early on after my daughter was born, we initiated the switch policy where it was like at any time, if someone was getting frustrated with my son, we could just say switch, and then we would switch children so a calmer adult could step in. So I suggest doing that. Try to help yourself to de-escalate first before you can help your child. The only thing we can control is our own responses. That was another hard lesson as a behavior analyst. You get to the point when you realize that really the only person's behavior you can control is your own, right? So, calm responses. Okay, so try your best. Learn your own triggers and signals and de-escalate yourself before trying to de-escalate your child. Okay, so third point, de-escalation. If your child does start to escalate, we go back to priority 1, safety. Okay, make sure the area they're in is safe. It is clear of anything they could hurt themselves on. You want to limit your attention or your direct talking to them because at that point it might escalate them. Okay, and remember to breathe and stay calm. Okay, we just talked about that. Maintain neutrality. Stay calm. Okay, if you can prompt your child to use a coping mechanism, if they know a coping strategy, you can prompt them to do that. Take a deep breath, count to 5, go to your calm down space. I suggest that everyone have a calm down space in your house. My son, we have one in his bedroom. This is not timeout. This is a safe place they can go to calm down. I have bean bags, some of his larger stuffed animals. In a corner, some blankets and pillows. And he can come and go as he likes. Sometimes I will say, Joey, I think you need to go to your calm down space, but it's not like I set a timer and he's stuck there. It's he comes out when he is feeling calm. And we've taught him, what does that mean when your body is escalated? And what does that mean when your body is calm, right? So that's, some of this comes with to teach our kids, right? If you're yelling and you're kicking and you're, on the floor, that is not safe. Your body is not calm. We need a calm body. So you can go to your calm down space. You can take a deep breath. You can take a sip of water. Taking a sip of water is actually a really good calm down strategy. It's incompatible. We like to teach incompatible behaviors, the kiddos, as alternatives to challenging behavior. So taking a sip of water is a good alternative to like yelling and crying. And I've used it with my son since he was really little. And he still does it. Sometimes he'll do it on his own now. He'll like go take a sip of water if he starts to cry or gets upset. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, I think I was crying in the car, hormones. But my son prompted me. He was like, Mommy, do you need a sip of water? And I was like, wow, like he really gets it, right? He gets that when you're upset, that is something that can calm. So if your child doesn't have a repertoire of coping skills, that's things that you can teach, right? I'm going to link you guys to a bunch of great resources of how to teach certain coping skills, like taking a deep breath with a pinwheel. I'll link you to some belly breathing videos. There's some really cool ways to teach coping skills. But the time to teach them is not when your child's escalated, okay? It's before, right? It's when they are calm. It's not after they've displayed a challenging behavior. You can't utilize a coping strategy until you've taught it, right? And they know it, and then you can use it as an intervention, okay? One last little piece of advice for escalation. We don't want to bring out the child's most preferred thing when they're escalated. That might sound like common sense, but sometimes they're the things that calm children, right? So this song on the iPad calms them every time, right? And I don't doubt that those things work in the moment, right? Kiddos crying, screaming on the floor, you bring over iPad, put the song on, they stop, right? But what you've actually done in the moment is you have used positive reinforcement to stop that behavior. And I'm going to explain that. So positive reinforcement is when you present something following a behavior that actually increases the likelihood that that behavior will happen again. Okay, so while that iPad song, excuse me, might have stopped the behavior, the next day when they want iPad, they might have a tantrum to get the iPad, right? So we don't want to pull out our most preferred items when the child is upset. We want to utilize those items when the child displays appropriate positive behaviors, okay? Okay. I said it was my last piece of advice, but I lied. I have one more. Try to avoid power struggles. We talk about this a lot in training at Easter Seals. We don't want to get in a power struggle with a young child. Okay. A very clear picture of that is, I say, Joseph, time to clean up your toys. He says no. I say, Joey, time to clean your toys. Nope, not doing that. I'm playing. Clean your toys. Nope, it's like this back and forth, right? Very clear. We want to try to avoid that. And the way we avoid that is by using those strategies that we talked about earlier, okay? So we want to make sure that we're setting clear expectations, right? And that we're following those strategies when our child doesn't meet expectations. So instead of nagging or engaging in a power struggle, we're going to restate the expectation. We're going to reinforce others in the environment if we can. We're going to use some gestures, right? We're going to model for them the appropriate behavior or maybe modify the task. Okay, well, guys, I hope that was helpful. That was half the time with my last video, so I'd say that was a success. I'm going to give you some great resources and links below. I'm going to link some cool flowchart. The National Center for Pyramid Model Innovations just posted these really cool flowcharts for what to do when a challenging behavior occurs. I'm going to link those. I'll link the coping strategies resources. Yeah, you guys got this, okay? I know we're going on, I don't even know what it is. Is it week 3, week 4 of social distancing? And it's hard. I know, trust me. We struggle some days, and some days, we're great one minute and we're struggling the next, right? So I'm right there with you. All we can do is try our best. I hope you can take away a strategy or two from this video. Please let me know if there's other topics you want to talk about. I'm going to film family tips for tele-intervention next. Okay, see you guys soon. You got this. Bye.